Autobots, transform!
Alright, Transformers family, here it is, the big review I've been putting off. But before that, I want to welcome to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and this is Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy Scorponok Titan class figure. Here he is sealed in his packaging. This is the front of the box. You can see Scorponok here holding Optimus Prime. Some type of battle scene going over here, the art. And the funny thing is, I just saw the episode with Scorponok on it and was actually a little bit disappointed in that episode. But anyway, here's the packaging. It's just one big rectangular box. Spinning it around. The back of the box is the product shot of the material that is inside Scorponok in this robot mode, the Scorpion mode, and the defense base. What is this? Battle station mode. Is it still Zarek? I don't even know Zarek. He didn't even do that on the spoiler alert. We didn't even see this guy on the Earthrise cartoon on Netflix so far. Top of the box, not a lot going on right there. Bottom of the box, nothing at all. Side panels, the same side panel on every Earthrise box there is. And if I reverse it, it's Megatron shooting the blast that follows over to the front. This is actually a clip from the episode that I saw last night on Netflix. So I'm going to get this guy open and slide them out, check them out, and forgive any camera work that might not be too great because this is a big box, this is a big review. So on camera. Here is Scorponok laying down in the packaging. Behind him is a very large instruction manual. Let's take a brief look at that. It's not actually that big, it's just folded pretty big. And that's a lot of steps going on. I see all the way to 33 just on this side alone. And a total of 39 over here. But we're going to explore all aspects of his transformation. There's a warning label, don't choke on this figure because it's pretty huge. And the roadmap from Cybertron to wherever they're going. There's a lot going on this one. It is a lot, if you can see it. Where is the little decoder? Right here. He actually comes with some blast effects, which is pretty cool. Pull this out. Get this opened up. Let's see what I can see. Actually, I was expecting a little bit more. It's like a 3-part 1 blast effect. Anyway, let's see what we can see. It says Unicron right here. Right there, Unicron. Space Bridge, Arc, Nemesis, Quintessons, Fool's Fortune, whatever that is, and this is nothing. But this is what this little thing says. Now to get Scorponok out of the box, I'm going to need a pair of scissors. Okay, here we go. Start at his feet. Right here. Part of his tail anyway. And I'm wondering, did I get all the ties on the first attempt? Let's see. I always miss one, but nope. Got it all the first time. There's Scorponok. Stand him up. It's going to be tough to get him all in. There we go. There's something right here. And this part of the packaging. Let's see what this is. The shield, the claw shield, claw arm thing. And there appears to be something on this side as well. Two things. Let's check it out. For his cannons. A lot of goodies inside to get to. Here are his two cannons. One and two, identical, I believe, so far. And last but not least, this little thing houses his head. I'll form the head. And here is Lord Zarek and Lord Zarek. Oh man, it's magnificent. I've waited 30 years to get a full-size Scorponok that's on par with Fortress Maximus, the G1. I mean, you know, that's why I collect this line, because it fills a lot of gaps and a lot of wants that I had for my G1. I still have my G1 collection. So here is the head, and I love it. I love all aspects of it. No gaps, no hollow. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way and come right back. Okay, I'm back obviously, and try to get it centered as best as I can for this portion of the review. And I'm gonna take the head just like this with the Headmaster, Tightmaster already plugged in. I'm just checking that out, just interested right now, see how that goes. And I'm just gonna plug it on top of his head, on his neck. I'm gonna turn it so you can see it. There is the little cavity in there, and the arm's already giving way under the weight. At least that ratchet is right here. Don't like that. When they make these heavy figures, I don't understand why they don't double down on the ratchet joints. Unless it has something to do with safety if it falls over. I don't know. So anyway, take the head, just try to plug it in. And plugs right in there. Is it still? Yep, it's in frame. And sits right on top. Let's see it rotate. And it totally 360s right there. And let's see what else we got to do. I guess I have to attach this part right here. And try to do this without instructions. So let's turn them around and see what I can see. And I believe it goes right here. This way. So, alright, this part, all the hollowing up parts match. I think I had it like this the first time. So you bring this up to the top. And it like clips into here and here. On a piece that was already attached in the box. Then you accordion this part straight up. I was trying to turn it over like the G1, but it just goes straight up and attaches. I think I get it to attach better, but just go straight up right there. And there you have it. Swing them back around. I don't think I got his feet right. I think his feet come out. The toes. Alright, pull that down, just pull that down and pull that down. Now we got like the G1 toes, a couple clicks. Set them back down, take these cannons and classic cannons, and still got them in camera, mount them on the shoulder. And we are getting there. And his little shield piece does open up. Is this it? I thought this was like a two-parter. Am I missing some shield? I think it's like a two-parter piece. So let me check the box real quick. Okay, I just figured out his leg clips connect to this part of the shield. I don't know if I should do it now or just wait till I come to it naturally in the review. It's always kind of tough. So let me see if I can attach this part of the shield. Swing his arm around. I'm getting it in camera. I see some ports right here. There's always ports, and these two ports right here, I think they match up. And indeed they do. So okay, so I got them in full figure mode. So just so I can run down articulation, rotating this arm. So let me get articulation on the big boy. His head 360s on this little thing, and the little collar piece is coming off mine, and the head's coming off now. Let me see if I get this back in here. Kind of sucks a little bit. I didn't put a lot of pressure on it. It just came apart. Alright. So let's continue to 360 and then I'll try to get it snapped. It's not exactly... Okay, there we go. So the head 360. Here He really can't look up and down. He can look down to here just a little bit. And that's about it. No side to side, no rocker. Coming to his shoulders on this massive figure. Shoulder rotates right here. The arms come up this far, obviously. Shoulder rotates right there. 360 on that ratchet. It's a little soft to me. He has a bicep articulation that goes out to the side right there. I showed by accident. And a lower bicep swivel. Is a lower bicep a thing? Lower bicep swivel. And if this is a wrist, I don't know what that is. It bends this far. And coming down to his claw hand, it opens. And the individual claws articulate separately. I was not expecting that, but that is nice to the big claw hand. So that is very nice. And then there's a lot of detail on this figure. I'll come back to that when I get done with the articulation. And as far as this waist with the backpack, we have clearance. Looks like we can go full 360. Let's give it a shot. It's a big figure. This is my favorite Earthrise figure already. I don't care what other flaws it might be. You might want to turn off my review because I'm already on board with this figure. And that is his waist articulation coming down to his hips and thigh area. A ratchet joint there. Let's see if he can hold his leg with a little bit of shake. I still got ties on it. Straight out the box reviews. You know how we do it. He can hold his leg. He can actually hold it. Tap it is not dropping. I'm going to bring it back down. He can get out to the side this far. He can actually hold it. He can actually hold it. Man, I was ready to get the joints, the business early in the review, but that is all right there. Bring it down. Strong ratchet right here. 360 and that's a thigh cut. And now for the test with the knee bend. I'm sure this has a lot to do with transformation, but that is excellent. Excellent stomping Autobot. And because of the weight of the figure, the ankle is already articulating for me. He has a rocket rocks that far with some orange plastic in there. Orange is my favorite color. That is awesome. Looks great. Let's see if we can get him in a wide stance. And that is pretty cool. And you know, as I say, articulation is only as good as the poses you can get him in. And let's see how many poses we can get this massive figure in. Just from that little montage, you can see he couldn't really get into some very dynamic poses where I always say the articulation is only as good as opposed to you can get him in. He's articulated in a lot of places. I haven't counted them all. Maybe I should need to look at the box. Maybe I might put it on the screen. But because of the way his shoulders are designed, right here at the top, it looks like they were going to put some moving parts right here. It's like gray right here. Make it seem like the shoulder can actually lift up right here at this point, but it cannot. So moving his arms around was kind of hard because he's just designed to come up here and not really get these arms up here over his head. I guess you can bring them in like this, but that part was limited. And whenever I spread his legs during that montage, he really sank down like that. Like that. The splits ratchet, he can do the splits if you saw in the montage. He can do the splits, but that ratchet, when you go to opening up the legs, he would get sliding like that. On mine, it seemed like this leg is worse, the right leg is worse, but that was in there. So articulation, it was pretty good for a figure of this size. And I do understand when you have a figure of this weight, you're going to have that give. But knowing they're making a large figure like this, I said the same thing, I believe, on Metroplex. Like, they should have made the joints, the ratchets, harder. In some places, you have, like, some killer ratchets. I'm trying to remember where. Like here. Man, this ratchet should have been in here. And you can just feel how soft it is. But then, and again, I know some things are done for safety and collectors or toy buyers really don't understand or know the complete reasons why, but I just wanted to let you know the ratchets could have been better in this figure, and articulation could have been better. It's good, it just could have been better. So I'm going to move on, and we're going to take a closer look at the sculpt of this toy at this point. I'm going to zoom in and just take a look. Okay, here's a closer look at the head. You can see the line work in the face down here. Looks pretty good. The sculpt of the helmet, which is I don't know how G1 cartoon accurate this is. It may be more of a Japanese animation accurate. We could put a couple pictures in side by side to see how it looks. Definitely not the Generation 1 toy accurate. Cannons on the side, they look great. Molded in detail on the shoulder. Some pipes running through there, looks great. Just a whole bunch of molded in detail in places. Some Generation 1 toy throwbacks. Obviously the chest is completely a G1 throwback, which it should be. A lot of detail in the waist, looks very good. Some paint apps, some gunmetal gray paint apps in the purple. Got some metallic like blue down here. I think these were stickers on the G1. And all the way down to his feet. They put a lot of detail in this figure. It really looks good. It looks incredible, actually. A quick side view of the figure up close. And from the back. You know, with he's a giant chug. So you're going to have this hollow out space. It's a lot less hollow space than I would have thought. He's a lot more hefty than Metroplex is or was to me. It's a little detail right here. I think that's for city mode, I believe. Or battle station mode, whatever it is. Yeah, good looking figure overall. It really is. Alright, now that we had a close-up look at this figure, I want to put them side by side with the G1 version, so you can see the similarities and the differences and the updates and the upscale, man, much needed upscale. Then I want to talk about the features in this mode. He only has like 3 real features. Like I showed you earlier, you can unhinge this and open up the head and reveal eyes underneath, which is very cool. And the chest opens just like the G1, but unlike the G1, when you open up the G1 chest, it gives you a readout for the stats for the plugged-in Headmaster. That is going to still a hole in there. And here is just a panel, and you open up this panel underneath, and you can see the legs to the Scorpion underneath there. And the third feature that's in this mode, I guess would be the shield and the accessory. And while I'm getting to that, it's like a partial shield. You can take the clips off of his legs, one on either side. Then you take these and you plug them into here to create a larger shield. There's a couple tabs and they slide into one another. Alright, then there are little tabs here. I'm blocking most of the light. And slide in here, and then you get a full shield. And my thing is, this would have been served better or best if it was all gray plastic instead of the purple plastic. And then you could have just painted the silver like it's painted anyway. And we had a more uniform complete shield. And it goes on his arm. So I'm going to put it on his left arm since I have it on the G1 on the left. And now you get a more complete shield. And this is pretty much his only lonely accessory. Alright, show you the G1 version, how they look side by side. And unlike the G1, this little pincer is articulated right here. And for some reason this side keeps coming off on mine. Probably can build it up. It just pegs right into this little hole. Probably could put a little dab of glue to build that up, but that's going on with my figure. Like I say, it articulates. You can leave it open or closed, however you want to do it. And that is the only real accessory, those are the only 3 real features he has as a robot that doesn't include the articulation. So, all right, I sort of misspoke myself when I said the shield was the only accessory and feature in this mode. He has these cannons, and they rotate because they just sit on a peg. Now, I don't know if he can actually hold them. I don't think he can actually hold them as a handgun, because he really doesn't have a handgun. But it can peg right here, and for what it's worth, you can do that. And I don't know, for the life of me, they could have packaged him with a gun, because this gun is like sort of iconic. It's easily recognized by any collector. If you see it in a lot or anywhere, the gun with this little guard over it. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get that. I don't know how well Fast Tracks transforms into these parts, but they could have gave us that. But this is another, I guess, feature in this mode and or accessory. So alright, so now I'm getting a little bit more up close and personal with this figure. We're going to detach the head and take a look at the head of the figure. And more specifically, I'm going to transform. I actually detach the collar. This thing likes to come off a lot. So here we go. Here is the head. I'm gonna go ahead and assume I just leave the Zarek's head on here. But here is the chest. See how this works out. Open this up, and then this is probably not official. I guess I should open this up. And I'm unfolding the guy and revealing his legs right here. I see his hands inside. Rotate the little shell part out. Close this down. And I guess I can't rotate. Got to detach the head. The head back on this way. Unfold his arms. Unfold his hands. And pretty simple. Pretty close to Generation 1 transformation. And accordion this little piece up to his back, I believe. And I guess this flap just sort of hangs out a little bit back here. And let's get the shoulders up into place. And here is Lord Zarek. Zarek transformed. And let's take a look. Take a look at that face. This is very much the Japanese cartoon face. This isn't the G1 toy look or the Generation 1 cartoon, even though he was only appeared in, what, 2 or 3 episodes. That face is very much Japanese inspired. No real paint apps going on. I think these are the only paint apps on this figure. I guess they're alright. Got a little nick on that corner, but I guess it's alright. Turning around, the other paint apps belong to the actual face right here. And this may actually be a blue plastic and not even a paint app. And if it's painted, it's paint over, because I see the screw right here. I think this is a separate, completely separate piece, which is cool. And actually it comes up and covers the face of the giant robot. But this is what you get. And I believe these things are removable, but why would you want to? I know it adds extra kibble in robot mode. A lot of people don't like these little panels, but the G1 toy had panels. He even has the little guns right here to simulate what look like the G1. These are actually guns. So let's do his articulation real quick. His head would 360, but it's hitting these panels. I don't know if these things move. They look like separate pieces, but they don't move as far as I know. So we have that. He can look left and right. A little bit of up. No real down. You get the shoulders out this far to the side. 360s right there. So hinge right here at that shoulder, in and out. Has an elbow bend. Completely 90-degree bend right there. And his hand comes in for transformation. And I believe someone said he can actually hold these as guns. Let's put that to the test. And he can, but that's like a goofy ass gun. And it's a shame they didn't give us weapons with this guy. And I just want to point out, I thought this was orange plastic. It is, I believe it's like cream painted over. I'm going to put these pieces back on, because the less part forming, the better. I'm like, because it stays on. I think it's cool that it stays on. You don't have to take it off. Coming to his waist, he 360s at the waist. Completely goes around, which is cool. No ab crunch or anything to speak of. And the legs completely can do the splits and hold it. Bring his leg forward this far, back this far, and his knee bend is pretty good, especially being a secondary figure in the head. And you want to, you can transform his knee back that far, but you can do that. He has an upper thigh swivel right there. I kind of sort of missed that. And coming down to his foot, it actually rocks with the wide stance. So it's a lot of goodness in this toy. It actually is. And as far as the face, I don't know. I think I kind of wanted my G1 face. It's not a deal breaker, but man, I believe this is like the American release, right? So I'm going to bring out the Generation 1 Headmaster, and it just unfolds. And you take this little thing to cover up the panel. Okay, it's not happening right now, but anyway, this is to take a look, and this head is very, very tiny. So this was Lord Zarek. And you can see the chest is pretty faithful, and you can see the panels and the guns I talked about earlier. The arm is actually a panel, so they have a panel here, and then it comes down to this gun point, which if I move my little fat finger, you can see the little guns right there that actually match up. Turn them around, and instead of being all purple, he has some different colors going on, which is cool. But this figure right here, let me stand up. This guy head actually comes off again, which is how it should have been in the G1, and transforms into a little guy. Now, I don't know. I probably got to look at the box like, who the hell is this guy? Like, if this is Zarek, and like, what's going on with this? Like, what is it? Because in the Generation 1 continuity, there was no secondary guy. Like, Spike was in the head or whatever. Like, who is this guy? Is this Zarek and this is Derek? I don't know. Let's bring these guys close. There's not a lot going on with this guy. They actually did manage to paint the eye. Let's see if I can cover it up so we can actually see a little bit better. I don't know how well that's working. I hope it's working when I watch it back. And his little arms, when I was moving around, I had these little arms come off. So they come off kind of easy. I think it was this one. Yeah, it's a little ball joint, and it came off a couple times when I was popping the head in and out, doing a couple reshoots. And his legs are stuck together. He doesn't have individual feet. Like this guy, his are individual, but they're also still stuck together at the same time right here at the knee. So we have that going on, a little screw right in his chest, and you turn him around, there's a face on his back, and this guy, again, like, there we go. You can cover up his face. So yeah, that is that. Little comparison right there. And that's all this little guy got. And the little holes he can plug on to little ports anywhere on the figure. So that is Lord Zarek. And before I move on, I want to give this guy the size up and a rundown. See how he scales next to the other Earthrise and Siege figures. Alright, let's give Zarek the size up and a rundown. I'm going to start with Generation 1 Cerebros. This is how they look side by side. I'm going to jump to Titans Return Cerebros, which is one hell of a figure with the sound gimmicks. And oh man, this thing is hard to beat. I'm going to go into Siege Netflix Megatron. And from that, I'm going to jump into a Masterpiece figure. I'm going to go with Masterpiece Rodimus Prime, just because. Here he is with Brunt. And last but not least, a couple fellow Headmaster Ape Face and Snapdragon. Okay, now for the fun part, the transformation. And basically the challenge is going to be, you know, my transformations are always a little iffy, but to use the little space I have available to get this thing transformed, like I could set the camera back, but I kind of want to have it in close to get this guy transformed. First thing I'm going to do is rotate him at the waist. No, first thing I'm going to remove his accessories. Take off the shield. Take off the cannons. You might be able to leave the cannons on, but I'm gonna take them off anyway. All right, clear his waist. I'm gonna, wait. Fold up his feet first. The little toes go in until they click. And now we're gonna come back up and rotate him at the waist. Now I'm going to turn him back around to the front, because this is the part that's going to be laying down, and this little piece right here is going to be part of the city. Wait, spin him back around. I'm going to detach the backpack. Try to get a better angle for you. It just fell completely down. Detach the backpack. You can take these legs out, but I think you can leave them in. So I'm gonna try to leave the legs in for this. I don't think you need the legs in base mode, but I mean it goes either way. But let's check it out and see. Coming back around to the front, and now I'm gonna open his legs up like so, and pretty much bring this piece forward. This is where I started to run out of space. Okay, now that I have them laying down, I have to rotate these legs to this gray part faces us, and then this blue and silver part faces down. Same thing on both of them. Rotate this way and turn the blue part down. Alright, we kind of got that. Then we're going to come over to this leg here, unhinge this piece, hold the leg in, and put that back for right now. We're going to take it back out in a second. Same thing on this side. Unhinge this, put this up, close that. And now to get Scorponok to kind of go flat. Alright, then there's a little space right here, and the tab for that space right here, and it goes right in there. And now we have that part done. Now these just sort of kind of droop down, and then you get them flat on the sides like that. And I never liked this in the photos or anything. It kind of droops down like this until you got it like this. Oh, and this has come loose. And these little panels right here, I did it by accident, but they snap down. And we pretty much got a lot of it. Just get the arms up, the city towers, the buildings, rotate them around. I'm getting it in. But just like the G1, these just stand up. And coming over here, up, turn, just give them to go back some. Now we come to these parts, and like the G1 had a little compartment open up that showed you like missiles, and you put the mechanical arms in there. You open up this on this side, then this panel right here unfolds. Yeah, I'm taking the whole thing, and becomes a ramp over here. And come over here and repeat the beat. Boom, boom. Literally it. And ramps down on this side. This is the look we get. And we're almost there. Open up this piece right here. Then we separate this again. That's a tight fit. And there are two pegs right here. And there are two holes right there. I'm going to put this right here. And I think, and open it up so it looks better. Now we have these, the glass windows to the building. We're supposed to be like on the Generation 1, and all type of plugs. There's two right here, and I don't know how high it goes. Maybe okay. I think they go. I'm going to take these two bottom ones and put them up here. I'm not sure which one is the left and which one is the right. Just kind of winging it here. Same thing on this side. These two right here. And here we go. I think this is pretty much it. I don't know if these cannons have a purpose. Oh wait, actually they do. You can plug them into here and onto here. Like the plugs here go here, and it goes. You can do it all in one shot. Let's do it like that, and this helps form the towers to the city. And that is the look that we get. These are some type of, I don't know, chimneys, power cores, or just elevators, I don't know, in the city mode. And here he is. Scorponok transformed into his defense-based city. What? I gotta look at the box. I'm just calling it whatever. This is what it looks like. Okay, look, check it out. I forgot to detach the head, but clearly you can leave the head on if you chose to. And there's that collar. Turn them back around. And the reason why I'm taking the head off is to show you that now you have a compartment. That's why, this is why you got to take the legs off, because this is a storage compartment in this mode, but you got to take the legs out to do it. So I'm gonna take the legs out. Basically, I'm gonna lift it up. Hopefully you can see it. I'm just gonna push the legs out to the side. Pull the scorpion legs out. Lay them flat, flatten out the toes. Same thing on this side. And there we go. So now we got the scorpion legs out. I don't know if they like power conductors or something in this mode, but yeah, they do actually come out. I try to leave them in, try to be clever and lazy, but anyway, for this part. All right, so now you can open this part up, and it actually lines up and fits the scope of the tower piece. And then there's a panel in here, and you lower this panel to give this a floor or a bottom. Got some light in there. And now it becomes like a storage space where you can like, think you can plug this into that hole. This piece right here is sort of like Cerebros, maybe, I think. And yeah, it sits right in that hole. A little bit more light. And I guess you can leave it open, or you can actually just close it just like that. So that stores the head in the battle station mode. Okay, everybody, I got some Titan Masters / Headmasters on the base just to check it out. Swing the camera around. A couple figures in the background to see how they scale, see how they look. Of course, we got to see if a car will go down the ramp like the G1. Here is Bumblebee. You just can't push him straight because he's going to hit this little notch right here. But you get him right here, and sure enough. Okay, so this base mode is pretty much a diorama display piece because you really can't. There's nothing to play with. The cars don't eject or anything. You can store the head, and that's pretty much the only playability. You can't get this thing to come in or out, or I mean, he can sort of kind of roll down the ramp, but because of his size, just like it's a short trip. And that's pretty much all you can do is roll a car down this ramp. So I guess that's it for the base mode. Okay, so I got the little figures off, and I'm going to get him into Scorpion mode. So I'm just going to continue to break it down for the next stage of the transformation. Come over here, we're going to reverse all of this. And over here, same thing. Reverse that, and he stays laying down pretty much like this, but we're gonna detach the tail part from here like that. I think let these up maybe. rotate the legs around to like the little orange pieces right here are at the top, and double them up, bring them over. Okay, maybe these panels stay where they're at. So I'm gonna swing this around. And double hinge, and now the little tailpiece, there are little ports right here and tabs right here on both sides, and you connect this part okay. And make sure I got it on both sides. Alright, got that part. And you come around to the back, since we got the tail out, and just unhinge it like this, and then unhinge it again underneath here, and then yet again on top. And there we go. That's pretty much it for the tail. I have to take the tower piece that I didn't take off. Should have took that off earlier. Would have made more sense visually. Take that off, close this up, and I didn't close that up. Alright, this is the front now. And we just swing the claws down and around. And we get the legs up into like a more crawling position. And you can flatten the feet right here like so. Same thing on the other side. Angle these up. Toes down. There we go. And on these panels right here, I should have did this earlier too. This flips down to kind of cover this space. There's a little hole right here, the port right here, and it snaps in for us. Swinging them around again. Kind of getting used to swinging this thing around. Same thing on this side. A little hole here, a little tab there. And this side want to be funny acting. Alright, there we go. And while I'm in the back, you could take the shield, and it covers this gap behind the scorpion's tail. And there are a couple ports right here. You take these pegs right here. But regardless, it covers up some of this hollow part in this tail. And that is that for the reverse of the figure. Coming back to the front, and I want to need his head. Is it still inside? Yep, we are going to need the head. Take it, this is the head of the scorpion. These are the scorpion eyes. And we just got to get the plug in. I'm not going to use the neck or the smaller head piece. Just going to try to put it in here like this. And rotate it around. And here we have the head of the scorpion. Get the claws back down. And on this side, I'm really running out of room. And time to get these cannons back out. Go on the shoulder just like the G1, just like the cartoon. And on this shoulder here, just like in robot mode. And now these panels, I believe they go right on the side. Again, I don't know right from left. There is a port right here and a tab right there. Let's get that going. Okay, maybe it might make sense to go like this. Kind of feels out of place. It's not quite flush. This might not be correct, but I'm going to continue until I figure it out. Same thing on this side, port right here, right here. I might have the left on the right, and the right on the left. But there we go. We can get these clips on there, and here he is. I gotta try to bag it up, get this guy in the shot. I mean, goodness, it's huge. Maybe I'll get the claws in some. I can get a better shot. This is not easy. I'm holding the camera with my chin right now. Can't wait to see what this shot actually looks like. But here is Scorponok in all this gigantic, beautiful glory. Let's have a good look, shall we? Obviously, this is the head of the beast. It can rotate just like robot mode. Eyes look great. I guess this is, I don't know what a scorpion looks like up close. I don't think I want to know. I guess this is like the mouth area, and these are like mandibles or pincers that bring its food in. I don't know. Man, anyway, it looks good. It actually looks good. Has a ton of detail that comes straight from the robot mode and the other modes. And you even see the vents just like the Generation 1. I don't know if these are jets, trash chutes, exhaust ports, whatever they are. The more detail from the other modes. Again, looks really, really good. Spin them around tail. A lot of people complain that you can't get the tail up higher. They come in a little bit more. And it would be nice, but it's not bad. I got it as far as I can get it. Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit more, huh? So, hold on. Okay, you can get it up that far if you just move this little piece panel right here. But here it is. The legs, a lot of detailing in the legs. Man, this is a beautiful toy. Awesome, awesome figure. And again, I guess I got to go over articulation in this mode. I mean, it's the same. The arms articulate just like it does in robot mode. The claws articulate exactly the same in robot mode. And I already showed you the head. And unlike the G1, the legs do not move as you roll it. And it's not really rolling on the legs. I don't know if I have it right. All I did was just lay it over, but it's supposed to roll when you turn it. Oops, the head. I keep pulling the head off. On this right here has one giant wheel, and then these other two for a total of 3 wheels. I think this is like a false wheel or just sculpted to look like it, but just these 3. And I'm really not getting. I don't hear it. I don't think I'm getting it to roll properly. And I didn't bring it up because I guess it's kind of obvious. These legs articulate individually. Okay, they don't articulate. There are 4 legs, but 2 sets of them are stuck together just past the knee right here. And then the lower halves articulate individually, and then the toe pieces all articulate individually. And then this little piece right here, I do have this wrong. I have them reversed. I saw the box where this little notch right here is the top. And it just goes just like that on both sides. So, man, the base mode wasn't that great. Never is on these figures like the city mode guys. But this Scorpion mode is awesome. No letdown here. It's got all the colors going on. The orange, the gray, the green, the purple. I mean, it just looks spectacular. It really does. And he's finally done justice. He's finally on scale with the G1 Fortress Maximus, even though we got a new Fortress Maximus. But my whole mindset is getting a Scorponok that's big enough to handle the Generation 1 Fortress Maximus, because I always loved the Scorponok toy. Always loved G1 Scorponok toy. He was just too little. It was like, who the hell made that and then made Fortress Maximus? Like, they had to be done in 2 different continents. On 2 different continents. And speaking of the G1, here is G1 Scorponok, trying to get both these figures in side by side. And let me just show you, in case you didn't know, how the legs move when you roll this version. Probably need to warm up a little bit, but I think that is so cool right there. And of course it's gone over here. Then this version has 4 cannons, and they only gave us 2 sets of cannons, or 1 set of cannons. For this version there's 2 sets over here. But what you can do, you can take these cannons and mount them up top if you so chose. It's too bad we don't have 4, because you can pretty much get that exact same look, but we don't. And I think kind of prefer them down here. Not that they don't look good up there, they actually do. But just put them right there. And these are the 2, if I can get them side by side. And obviously the scorpion head is done so much more better over here. It should be. It's like 35 years after the fact, and you can still see the Headmaster face just hanging out. And I guess you could kind of turn it like this and kind of get the exact same thing, because you get the little line work here in the face and the line work here in the face. Alright, in this mode he has a few little ports to accommodate the Headmasters, Titan Masters. There's one right here, bottom of his feet. There's one port. There's another port right here. Get a guy right here standing. There's a port right here. This is a few all over, equal opposite sides. You get some of these guys standing around for various display options. So there you go, a few Titans on the Scorpion mode. Okay, I got Scorponok back into his robot mode, as well as the G1. This fast track does not come with the set. I just threw it in there. I got it recently and added to the review. So right now, I guess we can begin to size up and run down. It's going to be hard. Here he is next to Titan's Return. Trypticon. He's a little bit taller, not a whole lot at the head. I got a good angle on it. Here he is with the original Titan, Metroplex. And Metroplex is a good inch taller. Here he is with Titan's Returns, Fortress Maximus, and I'm standing way back trying to get this guy in. Fort Max is the biggest of them all, of all the Titans. Almost forgot about Titan Class Devastator. So how these 2 guys scale side by side. And one more comparison, I'm going to put them next to my newly acquired Snake Mountain. And oddly enough, they share the same color scheme. The green and the purple. And last but not least, the vintage G1 Fortress Maximus. And at last we have justice for Scorponok far as scaling. I don't know who waited for justice longer. Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker or Scorponok from the G1. But man, these guys look great. And like I say, a lot of these figures I buy for this, so I don't have to live with this. I love my G1. Don't get me wrong, it's one hell of a figure, but it's just so out of scale. And G1 Transformers didn't give a damn about scaling. But when you literally made this figure to go with this figure, vice versa, and did this, it's like, how did that happen? But now there is justice in the Transformers universe. Okay, I want to wrap this review up and give you my final thoughts. And if it's not obvious, I love this figure. I think this is the best Titans figure there is. And it's kind of hard to say that because I love the electronics in Fortress Maximus and Metroplex. And you know what? I would give it to Fortress Maximus by a hair. Just a hair. But without the electronics, it would definitely be this figure. I love everything about it. It translated the best out of all 4 of the major Titans. I don't have Predaking. I got to get Predaking. Probably that stimulus money come through. I'll get Predaking. But I love this thing. I want to hurry up and wrap it up and try to get it out before the first of the year. I'm shooting this is December 29th. So hopefully I get this out before the first of the year to make my top 10 countdown or top 20 countdown. I don't know what I'm doing, but this thing is excellent. And the only problem I had with it is the ratchets here at the thighs, the upper thighs, were a little loose when you open up the legs wide. And I know it's a heavy figure, but they could have did that better. But anything else would be like a nitpick. I love so much about it. I wish he came with a gun. Nitpick and wish list. I wish he came with a gun. I know this guy transformed into some type of sword. I'll probably throw a picture in at the end. But he should have came with his gun. We might just get a repaint of this figure down the road into Black Xeric, and he might come with the gun and the staff, a proper staff. Who knows? But if they do a Black Xeric, I will buy this mold again. It's good enough to buy the mold twice, even though it's like a hefty price on this figure. It was not cheap. I bought it at retail, bought it at Target back in September. So, but I love this thing. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. I mean, I think this is the most faithful, updated incarnation of the G1 to the Titan class figures. That includes Predaking, Devastator, Trypticon, Fortress Maximus, and Metroplex. And with that said, I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of George Reviews, the reviews where every toy has a story.